California, police in Stockton searching for a possible serial killer after 5 men were murdered. Chief Correspondent Jonathan Hunt on this. He's live in our West Coast News Hub. So what do we know now about these killings, Jonathan?
Well, Sandra, for a while these seemed like random, unrelated killings, but now police say they believe they are connected and a serial killer may be stalking the streets of Stockton. 5 men have been shot dead since July, all late at night or early in the morning, while walking alone in largely unlit areas of the city.
No family should have to walk around their city in fear or looking over their shoulder.
The killings began on July 8th when a 25-year-old man was shot. Then on August 11th, another killing. And again on August 30th and September 21st, with the most recent shooting happening on September 27. Police have ruled out gang violence, robbery and hate crimes, even though 4 of the victims are Hispanic. So the motivation of the shooter or shooters is unknown.
Please do not fall victim. Be alert. Have your head on a swivel, stay where it's lit, and communicate.
And officials say they need help, in particular to track down this man, who they say is a person of interest. There is now a reward of $85,000 for information leading to an arrest. And in the last few hours, Sandra, we have got reports of another fatal shooting in the early hours of this morning. No indication yet as to whether this latest murder is connected to the previous 5, but Stockton is a city on edge today. Sandra?
Certainly. Jonathan Hunt on that for us. Thank you. John?
Sandra, now to California Governor Gavin Newsom signing another controversial bill into law. The latest legislation could punish doctors for spreading COVID misinformation to patients. Let's bring in Jonathan Turley, George Washington University law professor and a Fox News contributor. So, Jonathan, I'm wondering, in this law, who gets to determine what is and what isn't misinformation? Because if you go back to some of the things that were being said in the spring of 2020 about COVID, some of them are a lot different now than what folks were saying back then.
That's right, and John, that is the concern of the free speech community. This law is chilling in what it says about free speech in California. These doctors are being told that if they are viewed as spreading misinformation, it will be considered unprofessional conduct, threatening their very licenses. Well, as you noted, John, many of the issues that they cite, like masks and vaccine efficacy, are all being cited as areas where they want to stop misinformation. Those are all areas where people were banned from social media making statements that are now considered to be matters in good faith, issues that are worth debating. You know, back then when people questioned whether masks were effective, they were barred. And under this law, presumably, you could have used this law to threaten their licenses. But what was really essential about those dissenters is they forced a discussion, and some of them proved to be right.
Yeah, I remember a lot of things. Like we were told initially, hey, once the vaccine gets out there, 1 shot and then you're done. And then we heard, or 2 shots rather, and you're done. And then we heard, well, no, then you're going to need a booster. And now you're going to need another booster. And then you're going to need an Omicron-specific booster. It's so fluid when it comes to COVID that how do you label something as misinformation today that could become, accepted fact broadly tomorrow?
Well, the problem is they're targeting the very people that we want to feel free to express concerns and doubts. These are the people that we need to be part of the debate, and they're chilling that debate. I don't know why Democrats have become the party of censorship and speech controls. As you know, I come from a very liberal Democratic family in Chicago. I don't recognize the party anymore. It used to be that this was a defining part of the Democratic Party. Now, law after law is about controlling the speech of others, censoring the speech of others. But this is very dangerous because what you're doing is threatening the very people we need to hear from if they have doubts about what is being put forward in policy.
All right, so today is the first Monday in October. That means it's the start of the new season for the Supreme Court. I've got box seats to watch the whole thing. What are we going to be looking for, Jonathan, in terms of some of the more interesting or controversial cases that the court's going to take up this session?
Well, you should buckle up because this looks like another huge term for this Supreme Court. You have a stable 6-3 majority, which is bringing clarity to areas that were rife with 5-4 splits on the court. This term, we're going to have a major case on affirmative action, actually two. One from Harvard, one from North Carolina, about the use of race. It was 21 years ago that Justice O'Connor said in one of those 5-4 cases that she didn't believe that they would rely on race in 25 years as a criteria at all. Well, that was 21 years ago. The question is there a majority now to say, enough, we don't want race used as a criteria? There's a huge First Amendment case coming up called 303 Creative. This is a case dealing with a designer who declined to work with a same-sex couple on their wedding design for the web. She cited religious objections. We had this issue come up in a case called Masterpiece Cake Shop. That sort of fizzled out. The court took an exit ramp. This one doesn't have an exit ramp. It's coming up with a very simple question. Does she have a free speech right to refuse?
And we will look forward to following all of it along with you. Jonathan Turley, as always, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Answer better be yes.
Thanks, John. And of course, Sandra, the other thing we're looking for is where is the report on the person who leaked the Dobbs decision last year?
Hopefully we get that soon.
Feels like last term, I should say.
Yeah, hopefully we get that soon. I believe Justice Gorsuch at a conference indicated that we would see that soon. But going back real quickly to Governor Gavin Newsom and the prioritization. I mean, you look at the drugs, the homelessness, the crime that is happening in his state, and where he is prioritizing his efforts in time, and that really says something, John.
Yep, COVID misinformation. One of the top policies that he thinks that he has to
going after the doctors. All right. Meanwhile, President Biden has been celebrating some recent relief from historically high gas prices. We've heard it a bunch. Brand new at 2, the analysts over at Gas Buddy are bursting President Biden's bubble on just that.
The new numbers just coming in, and it's not the message that Democrats were hoping to send ahead of the midterms. We'll talk about it with our econ panel coming right up.